Marcus and I were the victims of a violent hit and run. In an attempt to escape police pursuit, the driver of a stolen car, a thief on the run, intentionally sped up and swerved towards us, crashing into both of us from behind. The impact threw us forward 30 feet. I landed on the sidewalk and just lay there for what felt like a long time. Nothing seemed real to me in those first moments. I could not understand where we were, what had happened exactly, or why I was lying on the ground. Not far away, I could see that our bicycles were crushed. I was dizzy and disoriented, and I didn't know where Marcus was. Finally, I saw him lying nearby, unconscious and unmoving, in some stranger's front yard, but I couldn't go to him. I could barely sit up. Before long, I realized that my leg was broken. The pain was indescribable. Not being able to stand up, or move really, was so scary. But the fear when I saw Marcus lying there in the grass was the worst part of all. When the ambulance arrived, the first thing the EMTs told us was that our helmets had saved our lives. Marcus and I spent the next 4 weeks in the hospital. He had 3 surgeries, and I had 6. Because of COVID, we had to be separated from each other for most of that period, and only one family member at a time could stay with us in the hospital, but not in our rooms. It was the longest 30 days of my life. I was in so much pain, I was scared and lonely, and every day it seemed like the doctors needed new tests or scans or blood work done. So I was continually being carted through the hospital to be tended to by a new doctor or nurse at all hours of the day and night. As a committed homebody and lifelong introvert, being in the hospital was a nightmare for me. Although I will forever be grateful for the incredible care I received during those weeks, I can honestly say that I've never felt so sad, so depressed, or so alone. The pain made it hard to sleep. I didn't want to eat, and I couldn't see Marcus. Most of the time, I didn't even have the energy to cry. And there were so many questions swirling in my head and troubling my heart. Why in the world did this happen to us? What will this mean for Marcus's and my marriage? Am I ever going to be able to walk again? Will my injuries keep me from having babies? For nearly 24 hours a day, as I lay awake and alone in the cold, sterile bubble of my isolated hospital room, attached to machines but detached from everyone in the world who could help me feel safe, a storm of fear and uncertainty raged inside me as my body tried to heal. In time, though, I did begin to heal. The surgeries had been successful. Eventually, my appetite came back. Then, in late June, I was finally able to go home. Both our moms moved in with us and did everything for us. We are still so grateful for this loving help. Marcus's dad came in from Florida and built us wheelchair ramps so that we could go outside for fresh air and sunshine. After spending a few weeks in a wheelchair, I graduated to a grandma-style walker, and finally, I learned to get around with a cane. Everything was hard. Brushing my teeth, getting dressed, taking a bath, even getting a glass of water was a sweat-inducing chore. Still, with the help of my physical therapists, my strength returned. Slowly but surely, I began to walk on my own. Even after that, it was clear to me that my life would never be the same. There were steel pins in my hips and legs and scars down the length of my leg that will never not be there. There were nightmares about the accident and a whole catalog of related fears and emotions that I am still learning to unpack and manage. But while we spent months recuperating at home and learning to walk again, something beautiful and unexpected began to happen. I found myself with a newfound appreciation for, well, everything. All of a sudden, I felt a great surge of gratitude springing up inside of me for the simplest things. For fresh-baked bread, for long snuggles with my dogs, for my mom's treasured recipes, and for long, rambling, life-giving conversations with my sister and my friends. After so many days under the shadow of fear and pain and uncertainty, it was as if I was rediscovering the joy of life itself. Despite everything that happened, joy had endured. Marcus and I had so much to be thankful for. We had our lives, we had our home, friends, and family. We had each other.